T-A-L-E-N-A. Just first name.
Yeah, right.
I don't know
Joined
her
the
last
Big
name.
Justin and another Catalina for
She's our burglar.
2-week jaunt they will never forget.
Hey everybody! And we are live.
Hi guys.
I guess everybody knows, we know where we're live because people in the chat room say, oh, I can see something.
And we're with Cliff.
What
or I guess I should say Cliff is with us.
Actually, this is still Ryan, and I'm just wearing my special cosplay and these magnificent shoes that Catalina gave me, right?
Yeah.
Makes the transformation complete.
Yeah.
Looks and smells and even sounds a little bit like Cliff, but it's still Ryan in disguise. How about that? Amazing what cosplay can do.
No wonder he had the best beard of the whole trip.
As soon as he got rid of it, he turned into Cliff.
Amazing what cosplayers can do these days. Hello, everybody in the chat room. And hello, everybody out there on the interwebs.
I'm glad that over the course of the trip, I got to know a bunch of people in the chat room.
Yeah, all these names are familiar now.
Yeah, which is really great.
Right?
Thanks for sticking with us, everybody. I know probably towards like 2 a.m. the last night, we were just like,
Let me go fix the sound.
no sound.
Well, no,
Yes,
they're saying
let's
it's
fix the
really
sound.
low. It's really low.
Had to turn the sound up.
Hi, everybody.
We'll fix the sound.
Yeah.
Or I'll just talk into the microphone like this. Hey, what's going on?
How's it going, guys?
What's going on?
Yeah, we are.
Should I? Hey, how are you? Nice to see you. Should we sing some, real classic, old school R&B? What's going on? Some Marvin Gaye or something?
I don't know. You might be able to. I
can
don't
sing
know
some
that
old
much
school?
R&B. I was raised in the conservative South. Anything past 1995.
Really?
If I'm not really
So
well
I
versed in.
can't throw out some old Stevie Wonder songs and you'd recognize.
I mean,
Okay. Generation gap. When I say old school R&B, I'm not talking about.
See, yeah, I got
I'm
a
not
whole
talking
different
about
thing in mind.
Run DMC or something like that.
I know. See, it's over the course. There's been the gap between me, Justin, and Ryan, and now me and Cliff, which is twice removed. No offense to your
Stories.
age.
Well, hobbits have cousins that were twice removed, but they're still considered nephews. So that happens all the time. Hello. Sound is better now?
Is
I
sound
can hear
better
it.
now? Well, let's pause our
Well, now
selves.
my face is actually hidden behind that thing you have in the upper corner.
What face?
Look, my face is actually
Oh, I just noticed that.
hidden behind that thing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have
Let's
to
scoot over. There we go.
Oh, that's better.
You were swatting at it perfectly.
I was like swatting at it. What was that?
It's,
Okay.
It's the Hobbit game.
That's the new Hobbit Cryptozoic
The Hobbit:
game.
An Unexpected Journey. We'll be playing.
You
that
know,
later.
this was the
Very cool.
first year that Cryptozoic kind of came on board and made the road trip happen. And we were kind of stressing at the last minute. It's just like, well, let's just hit the road and see what happens as part of the tour and fundraiser. It was completely different this year because Cliff didn't go.
Yeah.
And then Larry didn't drive. He flew, silly Larry. And Grimlock didn't go. And so I said, well, who's going to go? And you raised your hand. Actually, you came to me beforehand. You're like,
Pause.
Hey,
He raised his paws.
he's
He's an animagus, remember?
Yeah, Doug and Ryan
My
actually
putty paws.
asked, are you doing the road trip? And I said, yeah, I think so. And that's how it started.
Huh. Yes. I want to talk about the road trip, but him saying animagus really brought something to my attention. There was a panel, Tolkien and Rowling, the similarities and differences, as
Really?
well as there was something brought up in the chat room. I forgot by whom.
I would have loved to have been at that.
Oh, it was amazing.
I would like to know, in what way do people say or think they are similar? Because in my mind, they're two completely different entities.
I have
mean,
never-
has anyone heard this?
I have
argument
read every
before? Or
word.
this debate. It's a discourse.
It is a discourse that I wouldn't have much to contribute.
Yeah.
Because I've read every word of J.K. Rowling, and I've researched and very carefully reread everything that Tolkien has ever done. And you know what? I have not ever seen.
No qualms.
No, I have not seen any
Yeah.
parallels between their style. But the only thing is that some of their thematic approach is the question of death versus deathlessness. Thematically, that's the only thing that the two of them have ever explored.
Right.
Otherwise, their writing style and their content and their approach to fantasy in general is wildly different.
Yes.
Wildly
And I agree with you. I
Thank
would
you.
say that people who are bridging the gap between those two and saying like, oh, they're copying blah, blah, blah. It's almost as if there's two carpenters, one came before the other, and people are giving flack to the new carpenter because they're simply using the tools of the old carpenter, which is the pen and pencil of writers. So I'm willing to listen to other arguments, because I mean, if someone can like change my mind space and bring up a similarity that I may have not thought of, I'm into it.
Well, there's a lot of the influences are similar because we're talking about a similar genre of kind of mythic fantasy writing, and there's only so many sources that the classical tales, and so there are a lot of similarities. And we talked about that a little bit in Denver with Dr. Robert Backer, where he was comparing. He had this brand new dinosaur skull that he named after a Harry Potter dragon.
Chinese fireball.
But before Harry Potter, he might have named it after a Smaug. Or
It's true.
Something like that.
Yeah. Hyperius Smaugausen.
I wonder if he's named anything after anything Tolkien.
I don't know. But man, the dragon, they're not dragon. The dinosaur head crests that we saw,
Oh,
and these were real.
so cool.
they looked
They were
right
dragons.
out of
Yeah.
a high fantasy sketchbook.
I thought he was pulling one over on us when he brought that out. I said, "Oh, what is this, like a toy in a dino museum?"
Yeah.
But that was legit.
Well, yeah, because some of that old stuff looks like someone could have just cast it in the back room out of plaster or cement. But obviously, there's a level of authenticity you can't mimic easily.
Right.
But it,
Mert-
painted red like that.
Murtaugh's in the chat room right now saying, Tolkien and J.K. Rowling are alike because they didn't just write books; they created a whole world and mythology.
Well, Murtaugh, that is a very cogent point. I'm glad you made that point. I suppose you could say the same thing about other authors, like perhaps Mr. George R.R. Martin. You could even go and say,
C.S. Lewis.
C.S. Lewis, and how about give some of the American writers some love. give Piers Anthony or some other Ray Bradbury. Give them the same credit. But when we're sitting down at an academic discussion in a convention, trying to parse similarities between Rowling and Tolkien, I wouldn't think you'd have fertile ground for a lot of conversation there. In particular, it's just they're both mega popular. That's another thing they have in common. Mega popular.
And that will breed competition.
But I mean, you're not going to have an academic discussion of
One's written by a man, one's written by women.
when
two
was-
different perspectives coming from.
I'd like to think of Stephanie Meyer versus Bram Stoker. You don't have symposiums talking about the similarity between their vampire stories because there aren't that many. But Murtaugh, I appreciate your point very much. The thing that Rowling did heavily, she lifted little bits of words and little place names that were Tolkien creations, and she sprinkled them into the Harry Potter universe as a tip of the hat, an homage to the professor. So that's why, Bathilda Bagshot, who wrote the History of Magic, and in the 7th book, The Deathly Hallows, they go looking for her. Well, her last name Bagshot comes from Bagshot Row, where Samwise and his father, the Gaffer,
Are
lived.
you kidding me?
I kid you not.
Blowing my mind.
I kid you not.
So if you were watching our live coverage of DragonCon, you might have caught I think it was an hour-long or 90-minute panel. I think there were 6 people on the panel discussing everything, the connection between Rowling and Tolkien. And
Fascinating.
I just remember people like asking, don't stop talking. Like this is a great discussion going on. I wonder how many, just from an output, how many pages of text is in Harry Potter versus how many pages of text are in Middle Earth, written by Tolkien.
I think Middle Earth far outstrips.
I don't know. How many books? There's seven books, Harry Potter.
Well, like one.
And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 Middle Earth books from Tolkien.
But Harry Potter 1 through 5 have much less volume. It only
The
gets,
Hobbit is tiny.
It's true.
All right, let's. You want to talk about actual volume of work? I mean, The Lord of the Rings is a 1,200-page magnum opus, and The Hobbit is a 270-page children's novel. But in between all that, Professor Tolkien wrote and rewrote, and then he'd scrap it all up and start rewriting again, more manuscripts, more maps, and then invented languages. And then he'd bother to invent alphabets that were brand new to go with the languages.
Well, that's ancillary. I'm talking the
no, it's
published-
not ancillary.
The published stories.
His published stories didn't even get published while he was alive. The Silmarillion showed up years after Tolkien was dead. So does that still count in that analysis?
Well,
because,
and Rowling has published many other books besides Harry Potter.
One.
Not many.
One.
Two, right?
Okay,
Was it
all
like
right.
She's had 2
the
books.
new one that just came
Her
out?
brand new one about the vacant, what's it called, the vacant ballot?
Something like
Yeah,
that.
it's, yeah, that's it. And then her other book was Tales of Beetle the Bard, which was just a little tiny
Page-
children's fairy tale. So that is two other books.
Hobbity says page count does not equate to much of anything.
It's true. I agree with that.
It is true, but we did get twice as many Harry Potter movies as there ever will be Middle Earth movies.
Well, the thing is, now you're going into profitability. Harry
at the
Potter
end of
is
the day,
at the end of the
that's
day
it.
a children's book, so
Casual vacancy.
And
it would make sense that it would be made into
But
movies. But I don't want to
that's
go
a
into
valid
that
part of the conversation because I guarantee Lord of the Rings wouldn't have been written if The
Um,
Hobbit hadn't made money.
I don't think merit of writers is based on how much money making movies out of their works.
Not movies. I'm just saying Tolkien would not have written The Lord of the Rings if The Hobbit hadn't made money.
His publisher,
He had a good job at a big college.
he had a decent job that barely afforded him to pay his mortgage and put his kids through school. That's why he was writing stuff on the side. He's like, if my buddy Jack Lewis can do it, I can do it too, right? But Sir Stanley Unwin, who was Tolkien's publisher, he came up to him and said, we want more from you about hobbits. And that's when Professor Tolkien said, here's the Silmarillion. I want to see this in print.
Yeah.
And it had no hobbits in it at all. And so Unwin said no.
And they made it a third.
Unwin said, no Silmarillion.
Well,
and so he went back to the drawing board and wrote The Lord of the Rings. Took him 17 years to do it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slow output. Brighter Moon says the only debate that really matters now is could Frodo beat up Harry Potter?
Funny.
So one of the things.
Anyway.
we really missed. we really missed.
Thank you for that wake up call.
On the road trip this year, because as we were driving through Oklahoma City, it turns out that University of Oklahoma, which is a huge college town, like football, they usually make it into near the playoffs of college football and stuff like that. University of Oklahoma at Oklahoma City has a tenured professor that is one of the foremost scholars of Tolkien. Don't remember her name, but she reached out to us after we had driven through and said, I just saw that you guys came through Oklahoma City, and boy, would I would have loved to just sit down and chat with you. And I thought,
that would have been.
I'm kind of glad that we didn't have a chance to stop because you need to be there. I mean, you remember last year when we stopped at that wonderful Christian college. Wheaton.
Yes, Wheaton College.
And Tolkien's desk with
Yes.
his coffee stains.
Yes, with his teacup stains. Wow, that was amazing. Yes. Oh boy. Well,
And your own books were in their library.
Yes. I guess so. That was kind of funny and awkward, but yes, it's true. It wasn't awkward because I'm not so self-conscious about it anymore. It was very cool. We were at a special library, the name of which escapes me at the moment. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
We were at Wheaton College, Wheaton, Illinois. We were
Wheaton, Illinois.
Wheaton, Illinois, right outside of Chicago, and they have not like Marquette University up in Wisconsin, where they have mountains of actual manuscripts and written papers that Tolkien had, but at Wheaton College they had C.S. Lewis's stuff, and they had Tolkien's writing desk, and they had this really fascinating collection of things belonging to the Inklings. And
That's
boy,
right.
was
the
that
whole
cool.
the whole group.
Boy, was that cool.
you were
Bouncing.
Boy, was that.
but and that was an unexpected
So-
stop, wasn't it? We had no
Yes.
idea that even existed, let alone in the middle of Illinois, and so the fans, that were watching along the road trip when we were streaming live said, "You guys need to stop here at Wheaton." And we found a lot of wonderful experiences this year on the road trip. Were you expecting some of the stops?
No, I wasn't. When you said a few of the stops we'd be going on, I was like, okay.
Yeah, Justin and his crazy adventure. Let's
Yeah.
go look
I mean,
at dinosaurs. Or
yeah,
let's go look at bunnies.
Some of them were just kind of like you didn't reveal until we were just about to do them, and then others you'd mentioned passing. I was like, all right, I could do that. I could stop and look at some dino bones in the middle of nowhere. Sounds like a
Right.
fun time. And then we get there, and it's this amazing 2-hour tour that you just I saw you just put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
In the archive, which is great
And
because that's a
everybody-
video. That is on the okay.
Really?
The dino video, other than DragonCon itself, the museum, Morrison History of Natural
yep.
History, and the Wildwood Rabbitry are the two snippets of streaming that I recommend to watch.
Yeah.
Above all, above the DragonCon panels.
Absolutely.
It's worth. It's a 2.5-hour tour of the dinosaur museum.
And it's not boring for one
It
second.
is not boring, and we were only scheduled to be there 45 minutes. In fact, they stayed open late for us. They said, "Hey, we'll give you a special tour. It take a half hour because it's not that big,"
Yeah.
and it wasn't that big. Well, turns out I was not expecting Dr. Robert Backer, like Dr. Bob.
He was a fascinating character.
He is.
I watched that. Very
He
carefully.
wrote the book.
Yes, he did. He did.
If you go if you go into your child's or your school library and you go to a dinosaur, history of dinosaurs, he wrote the book and he writes textbooks. Like he's the guy. Him and Jack Horner, and I was not expecting that. He's been a personal hero of mine.
No, did you?
I had no idea. I had
He
no
just
idea.
popped up out of nowhere.
I knew Matt, the curator of the museum, and I knew Greg and Meredith from the Dino Hotel, but I did not know that they knew. And so 20 minutes after we got there, and you guys were just kind of like, okay, these guys know what's up.
Yeah.
Had you ever touched a T-Rex before?
No, I've not.
They let us touch all the dinosaur bones, like just like this. Like, here, handle this. Hold this dinosaur skull, one of a kind.
No, usually when you go anywhere near a natural history, it has to hit. What is that? It's English. Please, English, come back to me. When you go to a natural history museum, everything is hidden behind plexiglass. You're
Behind the velvet
and-
rope,
and
it
lasers
puts
and
it on a pedestal and says, this line of work
yes.
is unattainable. And it actually, one thing the Morrison County Museum, it does work. And one of their charters is that to inspire the next generation to dig for dinosaurs. And the best way to do that is just put it in the hands of kids and say, here's a dinosaur. You want to dig more?
It's true. It made it a lot of fun.
And they
And
let
I
you
want
even drill out a dino,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
Really?
went up, and there's a dinosaur called the Allosaurus, and they had found a previously.
That's Alice and Janney's nickname on the set of her new show, by the way. But don't tell anyone that. Sorry. Go ahead, Allosaurus. Keep going.
Allosaurus.
Keep going, Allosaurus.
And they've been missing this part of the jawbone that they just found in this rock hard sandstone. So they were like, okay, we found this jawbone that no one's ever found before. How are we going to get it out of this rock? So a German dentist developed a special drill with special drill bits
Really?
to specifically get through this type of rock. And it's just like it's like a really industrial strength Dremel tool. And you just like,
Really?
and you just drill these little lines. And so I, you know, he let me do it. And I was like, okay, which part can I drill on that I won't completely mess everything up? And he was like, well, there's not really anything here. I was like, oh, this place is making me feel real good. So, you know, I did a few lines, and I was like, okay, I'm going to let the professionals do it from here. But
did you ever think in your life that you'd dig for dinosaurs with, you know?
no.
It was just fascinating. But the most important part, and this is one of the reasons I wish you were there, Cliff, is that
Yes.
he was deep. His knowledge
yeah.
of Tolkien and Lewis
See,
and biblical narrative.
I'm
was-
like a lore master in training. I'd say I'm still at an apprentice level of lore when it comes to Tolkien. So we needed like a master lore master, which is what I put you on with, because anytime someone gets like really deep, I'm like,
Oh
I'm
my
just
gosh.
hoping I can keep up and like pull from my mind what I've read thus
But
far.
he had some deep. I mean, he was going deep on some of this, you know, theories of why things were written the way they were, and
Yeah.
comparing, you know, influences of like why was this creature created, and might have been inspired by this, and would Tolkien have written the Lord of the Rings different or the Hobbit differently if he wrote it today? You know, would there be more female characters? Would Tauriel, you know, would a character like Tauriel have existed if he wrote it today? You know, I mean, he's a smart guy. He looks like a crazy old guy, but he is
No.
as smart as they come.
He's a wizard.
He's a real wizard. I don't think I've ever met a real wizard. He's a real wizard,
Fascinating.
and that was unexpected.
That was completely an unexpected journey.
We
Hey! Okay.
we just wanted, and then the Dinosaur Hotel, our friends at Best Western Denver. How amazing is that new hotel?
Well, they have fossilized countertops. They have petrified wood for their bar, for the top of their bar.
Yeah.
They have a
That's cool.
30-foot, what is it, a plesiosaurus?
Yeah.
Plesiosaurus.
Hanging from the ceiling.
Hanging from the ceiling. The fossils, as well as in the rib bones, you can see the last meal that the dinosaur had. There's a smaller set of bones fossilized within the rib cage of the giant 30-foot beast hanging from the ceiling.
Above the bar.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
feels as if they took like a foyer and a personal bar out of some 30s English gentleman who was in like the Adventure Club and placed it in the middle of Denver, Colorado.
It is a fantastic place.
Who
This
knew?
is a hotel.
Tasteful.
It's a Best Western.
Tasteful to the max. When you said Dino Hotel, I thought, okay, we're gonna be sleeping
Rawr.
we're gonna be sleeping in like dino egg beds, and like in the morning we'll hatch out of them when the sun comes up. But this was completely a whole this like 180 of
The
what
Dino
I thought.
Hotel sounds like that scene in Pee-wee's Big Adventure where they're
I
sitting
think
in the
that's what you
mouth
were
of the
thinking.
dinosaur watching the sunrise. That's
Yeah,
what I would have thought
that's
too.
exactly. That's when he.
No, but these are real brontosaur leg bones that you can just walk up and touch and take a picture. An Allosaurus skull hangs over the mantle
Over
of
the fireplace.
over the
Where you
fireplace.
could sit and enjoy
Uh,
a snifter of fine alcoholic libations.
But
Wow.
it was just, you know, it was one of those like, you know, hey, we're gonna stop here. But as you know from previous years, like every stop turns into something more magical.
Well, did you find that people were contacting you just by surprise, out of nowhere, saying, hey, we happen to be over here on the side of this town. Do you think you can come over here to Cracker Barrel and have breakfast with us? Like we encountered last year.
Yeah.
Did you
well,
have some spontaneous
we
fan
had-
sightings?
we tried to schedule a little more ahead of time. So
Right.
we had a couple wonderful people meet us at Casa Bonita in Denver, the biggest Mexican. I wish you could have been there. You would have freaked out. Would he have freaked out?
I would
I,
have.
I don't
I
know.
would've loved
The thing is, I don't know
It was
if you would have
cheesy.
freaked out in a good way or a bad way, because I don't know how you would have felt on the matter.
You know what? If it has, if it's, you guys were probably taking me very, very seriously
Well, you
when
know
I
that you were
had
very-
that conversation with you about I don't want to see a Lord of the Rings theme park.
Well, not
Just
not
because
only
a
that,
theme
you
park
have
is a
very-
cheesy idea, but
You have a
whatever.
very cool demeanor, so I don't know if like
Cool.
walking into Casa Bonita, you'd be like, oh.
You know what? Well, when we walk next door into El Compadre, you know, it's kind of cheesy, and they've got these, you know, it looks like a little Spanish villa inside the dining area of the
Yeah.
restaurant.
But Casa Bonita
But-
does not have a 3-story waterfall that people dive
You
in
mean-
every
you
20
mean El
minutes.
Compadre.
People literally dive.
They're-
Yes.
People literally dive.
Yes. There's
in the restaurant while you're
there's-
eating. They do a
okay.
dive show. For
There's a
you?
pool.
And there's a monkey.
There's a pool, much like the forbidden pool Gollum was eating fish from.
So juicy,
with
sweet.
with a waterfall, much like the same pool we're talking about. And every 15 minutes or so, well, we were there early in the day, so I'm assuming the up and coming actors were there playing, and there was like 3 different shows with diving in between. So there was one where it's like, oh, this monkey's on the loose, and the monkey runs around the restaurant like beating its chest in front of people. There's another one where it's
A
like
guy
this-
in a suit, right?
a guy in a suit. Yeah. There's another one where it's this Wild Wild West themed, where I guess there's these 2 banditos having an argument, and one eventually like falls into the water. And then there's one which is this spectacular high diving show where this divetress climbs up on the rock. It's like made of lava rock, and she climbs up and is like, "Should I go higher?" And everyone's like, "Yeah!" And then she
60 times a day. 60 times a day.
That's fun. That's really fun. So this is a theme restaurant which has just gone way overboard.
Yes,
Way overboard.
There's a gold mine. There's Black Bart's Pirate Cave.
There's a puppet show.
There's a puppet show.
There's
There's like a
mines.
Greek theater in there. There's like a Spanish roof section. Spanish villa
Really?
roof section.
It's
When I told you we were going to a Mexican restaurant, like, again, you had no idea that
Yeah, and it smells like a Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride.
the whole thing.
really.
Yes, it has that like.
It sounds like a Disney theme restaurant that you would find somewhere in downtown Disney with like a lot of extras from the Imagineering department. But it was kind of cheese level. Was there a cheese level
Oh yeah.
for it?
Oh,
Like-
yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
whole thing.
I mean,
Oh,
there's-
okay.
But-
there was nothing serious about the
I
place.
tell you, I would have loved it. I probably
Okay.
would have loved it.
Next year.
Were the margaritas any good?
I didn't have a margarita.
Damn
No, we didn't. We didn't have any of that.
Because we're driving.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we had dinosaurs to look at.
You see, on the road trip, when they won't allow me to drive, I'm the only one who gets to drink. So next year, I'll have to do some drinking while we're driving.
Yeah, you'll have
That'll
to.
be my
You'll
job.
have to try the margarita.
Let's keep
and
Clifford liquored up, and he can talk about
We'll
hobbits.
talk all day.
And we'll talk all day
He'll
about.
answer every
you know.
and any question at all.
By the way, the elvish name of that hidden secret pool that Gollum was catching his fish, I believe, was called the Henneth Anun. I
That's
believe.
right.
Yes, it
Anoon.
was.
Yeah, and if
Uh,
you're just joining us, this is the OneRing.net Torn Tuesday. We're going over our road to DragonCon. If you want to talk to Cliff, call him on the hotline 530-64-FRODO.
If you want to talk to Doug Brochu, the very excellent Doug Brochu,
It's the same phone number.
the
five-
even more excellent Justin Sewell,
no,
or
not
me.
I don't want to talk. It's 530-64-FRODO.
Murtaugh had a question.
That's our real phone number for Frodo.
And
They said
someone was asking twice, really, what does Clifford's shirt say? Well, let's do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, so that you guys can see what the shirt says.
We're gonna put that online soon.
Because you guys were going to check this out as the exclusive DragonCon shirt
sold out.
that was so exclusive it sold out. Here you go. And 5 names, which give us the episodic encounters that Thorin and company have as they go through
This is movie 2. This
Movie
is the
2.
script to movie 2.
everything in movie 2.
They pitched
That's
movie
their
2.
pitch.
That's their
Bears, spiders, elves, barrels, men, and dragons.
Yeah, there's movie 2 right there.
And everything is plural
And they said
except for
okay.
the dragon.
Yeah.
They are indeed.
So, spoiler. That is our spoiler shirt.
Oh yeah, for a 75-year-old book that
If you
everyone's read.
didn't know, I know. I kept instinctively doing spoiler alerts as we went along, and after the 4th one, just was like, you don't have to do that. Everyone's read the books. Everyone knows what's going to happen, but it's just a part of internet culture. You have to do spoiler alerts because there's always that one person that it's new for them, which is fine. Welcome.
And it's new to me. So I'm the only guy. And
That's
if I
right.
approve of spoilers, then I guess
Fair enough. I didn't even think about that. You
Yeah.
have.
And so if you're just joining us in the chat room,
Thank you, Teterus, for the correction. And yes, thank you, Teterus, for the new article. It's really good stuff. We're going to publish it very soon. You guys, we have people who contribute to theonering.net, and they're fans. People contribute. We're all volunteers, and you can contribute too. That's why we had a pledge drive. Isn't that right?
we were physically driving, and we were driving for pledges.
And we had a very successful pledge drive, did we not?
It was wonderful, and we had some amazing auctions and exclusive things up for auction. And, the T-shirts, are always available at the shop, and yeah, it was wonderful. Like people buying us coffee all along the trip.
That was much appreciated.
Anytime our eyes got sleepy on the webcam, our phones would beep and said, "Hey, so and so just bought you coffee."
Yeah, I was like, "Oh no, Doug's yawning."
And you know what? It came in handy, especially because we drove through the night pretty much, and then we ended up in Durango, Colorado. And it was like the beginning of the trip after the first day, and we were basically ready to punch each other. Ryan took a walk that way, Doug walked that way, and I walked that way, and it was kind of like one of those things. And then our phones beeped and said, "So and so has bought you coffee,"
and
so
it brought us all together.
And we brought us all at an amazing Starbucks.
Yeah.
Did you guys get the cabin fever that creeps over the wandering journeyman and journeywoman? You guys were 4 people in cramped quarters over a long period of time, isolated, like in a Stephen King novel, where the characters are just isolated together, stuck with their idiosyncrasies and their unique smells. So how did that all go? Did you guys get crazy on each other?
I think no. Actually, no. I'm going to say no, and here's why.
No?
Ryan.
Whoa.
We got a call on the hotline.
We have a call on the hotline. I wonder
Stall
who it
that
is.
question.
It sounds like Dwina is calling. Hello, I love my knitted sardines almost as much as my cat does.
Dwina in the chat room just called the hotline 530-64-FRODO.
Hello there, Dwina.
And
Hello.
she sent Cliff some knitted wonderful things.
And
this knitted thing is from Beaufort's wife at DragonCon, and this was awesome.
Oh.
It's still complete with the.
It's still complete
Party
with
rings.
the 80s Hobbit party rings.
Stargate Geek wants to Skype in on this phone. Well, she can.
Yeah, we can turn on Skype.
Yeah, we can turn on Skype, sure.
But you
Because
can't see us.
She can't get her phone to work, but she can get her Skype to work. We have another call coming in. Okay, thanks, Dwina. We'll open up our Skype account. Okay, bye. Okay, end call and answer. To accept the charges, press 1. Are you calling from Folsom County Prison? Are you? I don't know what to say.
We're not. No.
Yeah.
We're not going to accept the charges
But
from
let's
Folsom.
turn on Skype.
But if you sing to me like Mr. Cash used to sing, then you can probably get your way. Wait a minute. Skype. We're going to turn on Skype.
We're turning on Skype. TheOneRing Net is the name of
Cliff,
Skype.
pick up your phone or else. I did, Idril.
Little Kieran Shaw.
Where's Kieran Shaw? Is Kieran Shaw online?
No, not right now, but that's so wonderful, dude. So Gothy called us during the road trip, and we actually saw Gothy at DragonCon.
Yeah.
You did?
Lieutenant Gothmog, leader of the charge of Vote Bilbo, and the Grand Queen herself. We gotta hang out.
Was she your first in command for the Vote Bilbo campaign?
Oh yeah, her.
The one that I vehemently
her and B-Dub
didn't believe in and straight up said so.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot believe that. Hey.
And we've met many other people in the chat room. We've got Lady Z and who else was there? I mean, everybody should be there. First off,
Yeah.
Next year.
I don't know if Running Hobbit's in the chat room. But
Next year is the final year for DragonCon and The Hobbit.
Hello,
The
Cliff.
next year is the final Hobbit movie. So
Yeah.
Hi,
if you're
Pipsky.
ever going to go to DragonCon, next year is going to be the year to go. We're going to do the 80s dance party again, which was ridiculous.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna play golf.
Yep.
Did they have some of the same parties in the same places? They did, or
Yeah, we
well,
did-
you were new, first
Yeah.
time there, right?
You're
You're a veteran.
We
so
did the evening at Bree
in the same place.
in the same place, and
Okay.
it was
Which
packed.
was wonderful. by
I
the
didn't
way.
think you guys would stay. Like you, Catalina, and Ryan. I was just kind of like, you guys can come to this party.
No,
but
we
if-
came and it was wonderful.
And
The
you guys
costume
stayed the whole
contest,
time?
We
Great.
stayed we stayed until we were just standing there, and this one lady was like, "You guys need to sit down and get out of the way." And then Ryan was just like, "Ugh, I'm out of here." And I was like,
Hello, this is the Torrent Hotline.
"But that's where I."
I think that was a call from
Hello there.
Ontario, Canada.
Is this a call from Canada?
Where in Canada?
Parlez-vous français?
Look at this guy. Hi,
Oui,
Justin.
yeah, j'étudie le français 12 ans à l'école. Malheureusement, je parle un très peu français.
Why this guy?
Wow.
He has to show everybody.
When the Canadians call, you have to prove that you're bilingual and not just Spanish, for heaven's sakes. You see, it's wonderful to hear from you. Hello, who are we talking to? Is it Idril?
Cliff is bilingual.
It's Tolkien Girl. Hello, Tolkien Girl.
Hi, Tolkien Girl.
Tolkien Girl is in the chat earlier saying we've got to come up to Canada. The problem is,
Is there anything Middle
the
Earthy?
problem is, I did something kind of naughty a few years ago, and it
They
ended
won't
up
let you-
being the basis of a Tarantino film that involved a lot of plastic bags and a lot of things, and they
You
don't
won't get-
allow me across the border to go to Canada anymore.
Not even.
I'm sorry. It was like a bad Elmore Leonard novel that got adapted by Tarantino. They just won't let me go to Canada anymore. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. So, hello. How are you?
Lady Z promised to be here. Who
Oh
else?
yes. Buffer's wife says that she's also Canadian, but she does not speak French. We see when you're in
Buffer's
Quebec.
wife speaks
if you're in
ham.
Quebec, you're pretty much forced to speak in French, aren't you?
Only on the eastern side.
I
right?
thought
Yeah.
I've heard
Like
rumors that the
northeast,
Quebecois
Yeah.
are generally kind of snooty tooty about people who don't even try. If you don't try to speak French, then they'll be kind of grouchy. Is that true?
You don't want to know what
Because
Cliff
I'll
did?
try. I will not succeed. Because there's a point where you can try.
cool.
But if you're bad
All right,
enough-
cool.
But
So
then it works against you.
Tolkien Girl says it's not that bad, really. They're pretty, lenient about letting you speak English in Quebec and not forcing you into
But
the
they're
French
but
mode.
they're
I like that.
not
It's very nice.
lenient about letting criminals across the
Yeah,
border.
but criminals like Justin and myself, we can't go north of the border. I'm sorry. Just kidding. We're just kidding.
Actually-
so, hello, welcome to the show. What would you like to ask
I'm not a
Doug,
criminal.
our excellent
I'm not a
panelist
criminal.
today?
I was in Toronto earlier this year.
Or anybody.
Hey, just no upcoming Houston Hobbit Cafe trips? Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
ask. Okay, all right. You don't have it. The trailer. She wants to know about the trailer. Oh,
Have you read Farmer
okay.
Giles of Ham?
Okay, our live video has a different lag
I
time
have.
to what the people in the chat are seeing
Yeah.
and doing. So,
Yeah.
okay, given that's the given technology that we have, it is what it is. Everyone's asking her to ask us about the next trailer. Okay, my dear, thank you for that question. I'm going to put the phone back down and let the next caller come in. But we will debate that right now. The trailer, okay?
Yes.
Thank you, Tolkien Girl, and good to have you on board. Excelente. Bye. Ooh, I went to Spanish. I suddenly went to
Oh
Spanish.
my gosh, you're the
suddenly
the
went
best
to-
and the worst.
En français, en español.
Oh, and we just got a text message from Pip Skay. So
Arigato.
if-
Oh, a
if
fourth
you're-
language.
Oh, can we go
Wow.
for 5? Can
Oh
we
my
go
God.
for 5?
Whoa.
Huh?
Whoa. Can you get Elvish? Come on, throw it in there.
May go Vanden. There you go, Elvish. Yay.
Round it out.
Melon.
Friend, that's close enough.
There you go.
The answer is we don't know when the next trailer is going to be.
But we have an educated guess about the trailer being, compartmentally put with another Warner Brothers project, like they always do.
And what would that be? What's coming up?
Well, for the late fall releases that Warner Brothers has coming.
Yeah. Because last year we got a new trailer with Prometheus.
which
Oh,
I
wait,
loved.
no,
I love Prometheus. By
Oh,
the way.
Skype.
We got a Skype call.
Oh, it must be Emily. It's Stargate Geek.
If we put
Oh,
it
no,
on,
it's Bofer's wife.
It's
speakerphone,
Puffer's wife. Oh, how cool.
Can everybody hear it? Because people
Yeah,
are saying
let's-
in the chat room that they want to hear the phone
Can we?
conversations. as
Hold
well.
on. Let's see. Will speakerphone work? Nope. That's mute.
Warner Brothers.
Are you on speaker?
Late 2013.
Turn down the volume on
Your computer.
your computer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All
it.
right, very
so,
good.
So it's Bofer's wife from the chat room, and you just got back from DragonCon on your own road trip. How was it? What'd you think?
The trip in general was good, but the trip back was terrible because I was really sick.
Oh no.
Well, that's because you didn't eat for 3 days, and as is wont at DragonCon, you just kind of go, right?
Yeah.
I did eat though. I had lots of coffee and candy.
Okay. I tried to have coffee, but I spilled it.
And that's probably more than a lot of people at DragonCon who may live on maybe inebriated substances for an extended period.
Back to the question of the next Warner Brothers release in the fall. Gravity with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney is an early October release from Warner Brothers, but in late September, coming up right around the corner, there's a movie called Prisoners. I don't know if any of those movies have enough traction that Warner Brothers will put the Hobbit trailer in front of it.
Yeah, or the right demographic that would go see them.
Definitely not. I don't think either of those movies fit. So we do have an unanswered question about where the next trailer will appear, but I guarantee you it will be before November. That trailer will appear right around Halloween, I think. Is that fair to say?
No, I think before that. Maybe
think before Halloween?
I think before New York Comic Con.
That would make sense, or maybe even during.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: I've not watched one trailer for Desolation of Smaug, and I don't plan to until the movie.
And you're a
comes
better
out.
man, and I would be happy if
Can we show him the trailer right now and
No.
see if he has a
I
happy
won't.
Hobbit reaction
I
to
won't.
the trailer?
I
the way
won't,
the
because
girls did?
what I like to do is I like to take my enthusiasm and
keep
put
it.
it in a little box and then store it up on the shelf of my mind. So when December 10th comes around, it can just explode out, and then I can be ready to see it.
So Nicole, we're gonna keep chatting here, but what was your favorite part of DragonCon?
Well, I really liked at an evening in Brie when I got to meet William Kircher and I got a free picture with him, and he promised to tell James Nesbitt about the ham, so that was probably my highlight.
Oh, that's fun. Very fun.
Mission accomplished.
That and the
It was
Smaug game.
Also awesome hanging out with Gothy because we're like buddies online, so it was like, yeah, in person.
So, Beaufort's wife and Gothy were able to actually hang out as friends in the real world. You went from life 2.0 to life 1.0 and got to actually meet, right?
Yeah, everyone grinding. By Monday, random groups of people would come up to us and just go, Grand.
You're a known entity among the halls.
That's
of the
kind of
convention.
awesome, actually.
Yeah, isn't it?
That's kind of awesome.
It took it to the next. So it was a total blast, and that's what DragonCon's all about. It's not. The panels are fun and the party's fun, but it's more about hanging out with people. Wouldn't you agree, Nicole?
Yeah, I only ended up seeing like a few panels because I went to all the ones with the Hobbit actors, and there's lots of waiting in lines, and so mostly it was hanging out with all my Twitter friends. That was the best part.
That's super fun.
And that's why the OneRing likes to do all these conventions. You know, we get to meet people that we only see online.
It was also fun stealing your live stream. I did that a few times, and like Kirsten and Larry and stuff were just like, okay, yeah, take it, whatever.
So are people in the chat room like, do they want you on your own show now?
Well, we were all saying we should do Road to Canada instead of Road to DragonCon because I was more interesting than you.
Next year I'm bringing Cliff, so there's no debate about who's interesting.
Yeah, there are a few people that
gosh.
at
Oh
the
my
beginning,
gosh.
in the first day, they're like, "Hey, where's
Cliff
Cliff?"
on a road trip.
And we're like, "Oh, he's not here," and they were just gone.
They were gone.
They're gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You
But
guys
that's
are
fine.
You guys
I
are
get
loyal
it.
fans, but
Me and
don't-
Ryan were new blood.
new blood, fresh blood. TheOneRing.net is made of, all types and all stripes and all kinds of fans, young and old. And we're really glad to have everybody following our show, regardless of whether I'm there or not. I promise I will be there next year come hell or high water.
And we're getting
Or-
more messages and phone calls, so we're gonna jump off right now. But
with the sea levels rising like that, I shouldn't
you
say
can
that
you
anymore.
can
Yeah, because
turn the
high
volume
water
up,
is a
and
definite
we'll see you in the
comment.
chat room.
Okay, it was nice talking to you all.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you, dear. Good to see you. Yay! So that was Balfour's wife.
Yeah,
Cliff looks
Well,
nervous.
B
nice.
Dubs, as we affectionately called her. And it was amazing, like meeting people that we only know them as colored words on screen, and suddenly actually meeting these people in
A
person.
real person.
Yeah.
So there's a big comic expo this weekend in Cincinnati where you guys can actually meet Billy Boyd.
And Craig Parker.
Believe it or not,
Craig Parker.
Hal Deer, the pretty elf dies. Sorry. Spoiler. Sorry. At Helm's Deep, no less. But
How
how cool is that? Oh, look, Sky.
And now there's Sky.
Emily Chi?
That's Stargate Geek. Now
That's-
she's trying to come in. Hello there, Emily.
Oh, let's hit this.
Hi,
Hey!
Hey, Emily, how are you, dear? It's good to have you.
I'm good, thanks. Shame you don't get video because it's not quite finished, but I have been working on the Middle Earth theme park for Justin.
Awesome!
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
See?
Oh
Okay.
dear. Wait,
I'm gonna sit this one out.
Let's turn on the camera.
Got a
I got my camera on. I don't know about you.
Yeah, though I don't know if she can get her camera to work.
I'm just trying to get it to work.
Okay, I love your accent, Emily, by the way.
There it is.
Hey, cool. What have you got? She's showing us this new map that she made.
It's Doug's map of Middle Earth theme park.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's like Ryan
Oh,
would
wow.
love this.
Is there a water flume ride there?
Cliff.
Yeah, there's a barrel ride.
Of course, there's a barrel ride.
Of course, we have to get in the barrels and ride them down the flume. Oh my gosh.
Is there a stand for dragon legs?
Out of Lothlorien water ride.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
That's a Grand.
See?
That's funny.
We're selling Cliff.
Denethor's bungee jump.
No way! Denethor's bungee jump? Are you kidding me? Emily, that's brilliant. Okay, what you've done is you've taken the theme park idea and you've done a Saturday Night Live parody of a theme park idea, which is very funny. That's very, very funny. What else you got in there? Have you got the? Have you got the?
Food places.
Where?
And it's got some food places like I put in
Is there a food court in the Prancing Pony
as a
where they serve actual pony for lunch?
Gollum's sushi bar
Oh,
and
Gollum's sushi bar, because he likes his fish raw and wriggling. That's hysterical. That's very funny.
and a green dragon.
Very nice.
And there's absolutely a green dragon, which is the only place in the whole park that has a liquor license, I'm sure.
Yeah, I put in a Lake Town archery place.
Oh, cool.
You can shoot the black arrow, but you only get one.
Instead of
Well,
like the guns.
the Lake Town Archery place is like the Toy Story ride. It's a target
Oh,
ride.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, the arcade where you have a little bow and you flick the string.
Yeah. Okay.
Legolas in the trailer.
Also got like Mirkwood Maze.
No way. I love a Mirkwood maze.
With false
There's a small
ends.
coaster and Flight of the Eagles coaster.
Flight of the
Walk
Eagles coaster.
merry-go-round, petting zoo for sort of like the Shire area. A Mount Doom ring toss. Ice Sauron, sort of meal.
Emily, okay, all right. I'm giving you a special prize. Maybe a Pulitzer, maybe a Nobel Prize, maybe something wonderful, but that was wonderful. That's very funny. And I think you've sold me. You've sold me finally on the idea. If you guys, if you're gonna make a Middle-earth theme park, you might as well stack it with humor. If you stack it with lots of funny, then I'd go. But otherwise, I think it's...
You know, before we let you go here, everybody in the chat room is asking you to grand.
That's so funny. So
Grand.
funny.
Thanks for calling.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, before you go,
Oh.
what are the games on the table?
Oh yes. What are the games on the table? We're actually going to talk about the games.
We're
on
going
the
to talk
table.
about that in the next segment. You ready?
And
All right, stay tuned.
Emily, thank you for We will very soon. Thank you for staying up so late, and I know it's really late night where you are, but thank you, dear. Yay, that's funny. All right, how cool. Okay.
Yeah, that
All
was
right.
wonderful.
If you make it funny enough, I think the theme park has some potential.
Right?
Yeah, it was
Right?
It was just all in
But-
good fun.
I tell you, the closest thing we came
You guys,
to.
I got so literal and I got
I
so
know.
grumpy.
The thing is, we were
got so
just
literal.
having this
Grumpy
great, like, mental, happy session,
I know,
and
it's
you
just like-
came in.
Oh,
no,
no.
it's just like.
Did I?
we were all just kind of, oh.
Oh, Cliff's grumpy today. No, actually, I thought that the time we went through Vegas on one of our earliest road trips to DragonCon.
And that drunk girl that played Gollum?
Yes, that drunk girl who played Gollum, which was funny. But we had to stop and look at the gambling machines that were licensed by New Line Productions.
He went to search in front of it.
NLP, okay. Now, I don't think that Saul Zentz would have ever, willingly licensed gambling machines with the fact that he's carefully managing the properties of Tolkien and licensing them for adaptations. However, after New Line had their own version of the film out, they were able to sub-license and sub-license
their intellectual
anything.
version of
Yes.
the books.
But I mean, when you look on every toy or everything, you look on the very back of it, and it does say New Line Productions, NLP, all rights reserved. Names, characters, items, events, and pictures are blah 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 under lawful use of Saul Zentz Company.
Yeah.
So there's some weird licensing thing going on.
This,
but I
this
don't-
one says made in China.
made in Chino. Well,
Chino.
I don't know.
California. NLP, Middle Earth Enterprises, licensed to New Line.
NLP, yeah.
you go.
Yeah, every NLP has their little, and that's what lawyers are for. It's that New Line Cinema gets their check in the mail every week.
But before we jump into playing some Cryptozoic games,
Yes.
the closest thing, probably one of the most memorable parts of this whole trip this year was besides chatting with everybody and actually meeting people was we kind of came up our own little Shire.
Yeah.
And that was an
It's my all-time favorite.
unexpected.
You could have left me there. Okay, keep going.
No, good.
I mean, the Wildwood Rabbitry was
I just wanted to
my
see some rabbits.
favorite. And we saw much more than rabbits that day.
Right.
You could have left me there, and I would have been happy, and you could have simply picked me up on the way. I'm not sure if I would have went with you, but it was heaven.
His Rivendell was on top of a mountain, 2 hours off the main highway, down a dirt road, take a right at the rusted Ford truck.
Go through the junkyard.
Through the
That was your
junkyard.
directions?
Yeah,
Turn right
yeah.
at the rusted truck.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was
Wow.
not.
There's only one road to follow. You
Yeah.
can't
Wow.
go
And
anywhere else.
it was it was dirt
Wow.
and weeds, so you had to follow the tire tracks. And then you'd come up like a fork in the road, and it was like turn left at the fork in the road where the pile of tires.
And
is.
that's where your phone said, park your car and walk the rest of the way. But we kept going.
Yeah, this was beyond the
Really?
knowledge.
It was
of
beyond the knowledge of
Cimarels.
technology.
Yeah, the
It was a
GPS.
place outside of the grid. It was
Completely.
awesome.
That is
The,
really
the
awesome.
seeing stones of GPS did not know this place.
Yeah. But it was the Wildwood Rabbitry.
And so this was, I got excited last year when we met the Happy Hobbits. I'm like, oh wow, you actually live like hobbits. Little did I know there's like different levels of hobbit living, and they had lunch set out for us, like two sisters of the Wildwood Rabbitry, and it was the freshest sandwiches ever.
Homemade yeast rolls made with molasses,
Mm.
with
Wow.
hand jarred and cured pickles, with
Wow.
I'm sure
And-
fresh
and
ham from the corner market.
Fresh cold milk from a
That's
cow at their farm,
I don't-
cheese made from the milk of that cow, and ham sliced from an actual pig that was raised in the farm.
An actual pig that was raised in the farm and had a little spider web above it that said, "Some pig." That's
Oh,
and you
jeez.
ended up killing the poor thing anyways.
There were a lot of pigs.
Here's the thing, though.
Sorry. I had to do a little Charlotte joke. I had to do that. Anyways.
Yeah, the milk. I don't know if you've ever had milk
Non-pasteurized.
straight from the cow.
Never.
Straight from the cow.
Never?
Never.
Would you?
No.
Why not?
Oh, wow.
If you had but a sip of this milk,
That hasn't been cooked or pasteurized.
it is probably the closest to the Endrot
It hasn't.
you would ever get to.
It hasn't been
on
scrubbed
this.
clean.
It has not. It has not been boiled. It has not been prepped in any way. It was like cool spring water mixed with like the might of a mighty beast. It was
Really?
delicious.
Oh,
Wow.
You
so
have never tasted
good.
milk until you have had milk straight from the cow that very morning
I
and
will-
chilled in the fridge.
I will keep that recommendation in mind.
Good.
Oh my gosh, really? Okay, you didn't, and no upset stomach.
No.
No, not at all.
Well,
Not
this
a
is
one.
how human
It-
beings
it-
have been
it-
drinking milk for years, straight from the cow.
Yep.
You know, so I get it.
But so they have this wonderful, huge area. Their parents, were childs of the '60s.
Yeah.
Turn on, tune in, drop out, and so
Yeah.
this whole family is raised on this farm, and they
Yeah.
free range birds and poultry.
And a whole
We're
clutch
talking.
of chickens
They go wherever they want. 6 dogs that.
that guard the place from bears and
Snakes and-
coyotes.
And when we walked
Wow,
in their
like real
house,
homestead living.
it
Yeah.
was homestead.
Like
I
it was
mean-
centuries ago homestead
They
living.
yeah,
built
we
their
had a
own
whole pack
house.
of dogs come out and be like, woo, woo, woo. And we're like, what up, guys? And they're like, okay, you guys
a
are cool.
huge bull with horns that you could just mess with and like.
Yeah. At one point,
Really?
there's this huge,
Like Pamplona?
lumbering little bull like Ferdinand came up.
Really?
And then one of the sisters was like, you big meanie, and just grabbed his horns and was like, you big meanie. And was just like torquing this bull around. But
gosh.
he just loving still.
And the rabbits, and we're talking 20, 30
Oh,
pound
yeah, the Flemish giants.
Flemish
I saw the
giant,
footage of the rabbits.
and
I
it
definitely
was
saw that.
like these things were heavy.
They were heavy.
They kicked. I mean, their feet are this long.
Yeah, apparently when they kick, they have little claws on their feet. Like scratch.
There's a shot in that.
Real
do you
rostable
guys remember
rabbits.
that Robin Williams movie, What Dreams May Come?
Yes.
Well, it was a very fascinating movie about the afterlife. But before they even get to that, in the very beginning, 6 minutes of the film, Robin Williams has in his arms one of those giant Welsh rabbits. And this movie was years ago. It's the first time I'd ever seen such a beast. I had no idea. I thought it was a mutant. I thought this was like X-Men rabbit or something. It was ginormous, and it started kicking him, and he quickly handed the rabbit to somebody else, and they go on with the rest of the scene. And I put it together years later when I saw that footage of you, and you guys with those bunnies, and I thought, whoa, that's where Robin Williams got that giant rabbit from in What Dreams May Come, from their farm.
They're real.
They're real.
They're real.
Welsh.
And so
Well, Roy Tolkien would know all about this. He's
Yeah.
Welsh, right?
yeah.
They're
but,
made from meat.
but the
Are
kid.
they? Are they raised to
They're-
be
they're-
conies?
Predominantly,
Yep.
yes.
Whoa, okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay.
Anytime you eat rabbit,
Yeah.
if you go any place and say I'll have some rabbit,
Yeah.
it's most likely a Flemish giant.
Because
Flemish-
the yield is just
Flemish.
so big.
So they're not Welsh. They're
Flemish
Flemish.
giant.
Okay,
Flemish
sorry.
giant is the
But
name.
but
They're
we
not
don't
Welsh,
But we
my
don't know
mistake.
exactly where. I mean, the name is just Flemish giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and we were at this kind of this gray area of conversation as we were approaching the farm, because they were talking to us saying, we knew they raised these giant beasts of rabbits, but we didn't know where they were on the topic of eating them. Because
Yeah.
you like rabbits are cute and cuddly. So some people you're like, hey, you eat those? I'm like, oh,
If people of the land, you
Yeah.
don't know if they're like, they're
Yeah.
environmentalists
just-
and they
yeah.
don't want to kill
Well,
any
you can
animals.
assume that they live off the animals. Like,
Well, we didn't know.
you
don't
okay.
know. I mean,
Yeah, you
we
don't
live in
know.
Los Angeles, where it's like I don't eat any meat, and I wouldn't hurt a fly. And these people
and
are like,
there's nothing
That's
wrong
what
with
that's
it.
what
nothing-
people in LA are like. Yeah.
Yeah. All that.
but you don't know like if people live a rural life.
So when they were talking to us, asking, okay, we would like to make you lunch. Do you have any dietary restrictions?
Best
Me and Ryan, we were all sitting in the hotel room, and he asked us that. And me and Ryan, at the exact same time, said, "We only eat rabbit." because we wanted to try these rabbits. We
Huh?
wanted to see what all the fuss was about. But it didn't happen.
the opportunity did not come up. But I
Did they answer the question? About
Yes,
whether they-
yes, they were okay with it.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
oh, if we knew that, we probably could have dressed one for you guys.
There's only one proper way to eat a nice brace of conies.
And they do everything
Right,
on
Sam?
site except skin it. Or they don't deal. They don't have the tools to, because of the rabbit fur is so thin and the hide is so thin.
It's
that-
so not weak, but it's just
yeah,
ellipses.
it's just super thin. But they know how to deal with hide and many other forms, because this was the kicker that totally surprised me. But not only do they raise giant Flemish rabbits,
yeah.
but suddenly
about
they
this.
they say, well, we have one more thing to show you, and they take us into the back of their shop, and under this tarp, she pulls back a tarp, and there's a bank of sewing machines and boxes prepped for packing, and packing materials, and wood and Dremels. And turns out on DeviantArt, there's a well-known cosplay costume maker called Incubus, Inkibus,
Incubus.
and she was famous for making the mouth of Sauron and the headpiece of Sauron a few years ago.
And not only did she make it, she is the cosplayer in that picture.
Yeah, everybody thought it's a dude, and it's
really?
these two sisters that have made the most amazing Lord of the Rings cosplays ever.
And
So-
so
They have this whole farm, and in addition, they have this whole warehouse for making cosplay stuff.
yes,
And they've never been to a convention or anything. They just ship it worldwide to
People commission them?
people come, and we
Oh,
actually
and
saw
you mean they make replicas? Of,
Replicas.
Of
Yeah.
Costume
Loki
elements.
horns,
Really?
Hellboy,
Yeah.
full
Oh,
Hellboy
not just
horns.
Tolkien genre, but
no,
other.
anything. They take
everything.
commissions for
They
anything.
make
Wow.
oversized anime pistol guns,
Yeah.
but just solid wood. No, not a gun, but just painted, look like a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For props and costume, oversized mallets,
And-
for like Harley Quinn.
And
Yeah, okay,
as
cool.
we're sitting in the kitchen,
Yeah.
and the elder sister was showing me the staff she had just made for one of her clients that comes back every year for something for the convention he's going to. And this year she made a staff for him because he was going as Wizard Dresden's mentor from the Dresden Files.
The Dresden
by
Files,
Jim
yeah.
Butcher.
Yeah.
So she makes this beautiful staff for him. It's like this beautiful really tightly spiraled staff that she had to Dremel all the way down, and
Wow.
there's a carved wolf head at the top, and it was just a beautiful piece. So that was great. We left. We go to DragonCon. It's all good. Last day of DragonCon, I believe, Sunday afternoon. Last full day of DragonCon. Me and Ryan it was the morning we were about to leave. So me and Ryan are hanging out outside, just kind of
Monday morning, right?
Yeah, we were about to walk back and help load up the whole thing because they just got done making the last sales of the day, of the morning. And this old guy kind of just walks out onto the thing, and I see that staff. That very staff that I had just been shown a few days ago.
The craftsmanship is so good.
Yeah. So I walked up to him. I was like, where'd you get that staff? And he was like, well, I had these two sisters made it for me who live in Arkansas. And I was like, may I have their card? And he was like, oh, sure. And sure enough, boom, right
It's the
there.
same
Incubus.
It's the same sisters.
Incubus. That's fascinating. So they raise giant rabbits. They have a
As
beautiful
well as
farm,
frog tarts.
and they make
Right.
cosplay replicas and stuff. And then frog tarts.
Frog tarts is the other sister. They
Frog-
both make.
Oh, frog tarts.
Yeah.
They have
Frog
this
Tarts does
assumed
the
name.
Frog Tarts does all of the as far as I might be wrong. I'm sure they switch off and do this whatever. But Frog Tarts does the sewing, so the outfits, and
they have multiple
she
sewing
even
machines,
did,
one for
the
leather, one for
upholstery,
cotton, one for
and
upholstery.
Incubus does the physical props. So
Wow.
Dremels
horns,
and
casting
and they live in the middle of the Ozarks, so they can just chop down trees all day long, and the trees grow back, next season. So the wood is all from their land. This isn't going to Home Depot and buying a 2x4 and going.
Yeah, like a dowel rod.
No, they took an axe and they chopped down a tree to make those horns.
That's all I want out of
for Loki.
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow, that's
yeah,
pretty
Gandalf's
cool.
staff with a glowing.
That's kind of a
crystal.
cool life to live, to be self-sufficient, homestead farm where you have all your own needs and all your own food and your own things, and you can cosplay and design and build all kinds of helmets and outfits and costumes. What a great life.
It's so good. And next week we'll go through some of our photos and videos from the trip and have a full kind of recap of everything that's going on. But
Good night,
but for
Tolkien
now,
Girl.
we
Good
have
night.
a few people dropping out. Tolkien Girl, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Yes, very
so
much.
I thought let's the whole road trip was made possible because of Cryptozoic, who have 2 new games out. They have the Fellowship of the Ring. They have the 2 Towers.
Here's the new one.
And then they have the Hobbit Board Game.
Well, those 2 just came out.
These 2 just came out right there, and we thought you played this at DragonCon all weekend.
Yeah.
And the learning curve on the deck building game is a little steep, and we'll take a full episode here, and a full hour and a half probably to get through it.
Yeah.
But we thought, at the end for the next 20 minutes, so let's go through the
Here, let me
Hobbit
see
board
that
game.
I love that. And I want to sit down and play the deck building game. Guys, I'm hardcore Magic the Gathering player.
Oh, okay.
So I could pick up this game like that in seconds, I'm sure. Oh, and we've got a text message on the hotline.
It's 530-64 Frodo.
That's right.
For Frodo.
Besides the dinosaurs,
Dinosaur.
Besides the dinosaurs, what
From your blood.
What was your highlight of the trip? So, besides the dinosaurs, our friend I Stole the One Ring is asking you, what was your other highlight of the trip?
Well, I just spent the last 20 minutes talking about my highlight. But another highlight, I would have to say, my main one was the Wildwood Rabbitry. But from DragonCon itself, I would have to say that the dance party was a lot of fun.
80s dance party was the first time we've ever done an 80s dance party. Evening at Bree is fun because we have Emerald Rose and we're playing classic Celtish music, and we have the costume contest at Evening at Bree. But 80s dance party was crazy.
That and seeing the complete Thorn & Co. Perfect costumes.
They showed up in the complete company?
Perfect. The complete Thorn & Co.
Perfect
Completely perfect costumes.
Really?
Could not tell them differently from the film.
Wow.
But here's the amazing part.
Oh, wow.
They're
That's
all
amazing.
women.
All women?
All
Yeah,
women.
which is just incredible.
All women.
Just A++++.
And if you go to our
for costumes.
Facebook page, our
that's so
cover
cool.
photo on our Facebook page is the entire company, and those are all women.
Should we play facing this way so people can see?
Are you going to reposition the camera?
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
Since it's like this, if we flip the
A
board.
wee bit?
yeah, let's flip the
Yeah.
board.
And we could oh, you're right. Okay. You two can play from that angle.
Yeah.
But I'll just kind of
You'll be here to
hover.
teach you.
How
and
cool is that?
oversee.
Well, evidently, Cryptozoic has created what is unique among board games. It's called a cooperative game.
Yes.
And in the history of most other board games,
And they do it well.
you always have to be the first person to end the game, or the person who survives, and beats everybody else up. But in a cooperative board game, like the one that was designed by Reiner Knizia, the Lord of the Rings board game, and that was about 12 or 13 years ago. I don't know how long ago. No, it wasn't that long ago. It may have been
2 ages ago.
it may have been since
On the
before,
second age.
before the dawn of time. But a cooperative board game like this certainly has its spiritual predecessor in the Reiner Knizia game,
And I'm a big fan of cooperative.
where you have a separate master board, and this is the board that always stays, and you have secondary game boards right below it that change based upon the location of the current adventure, which is very, very cool. So as our boy Doug puts all these resources together, we have
Just about there.
cards, we have tiles, funky cool dice. Ooh,
Yeah, really cool dice.
funky dice that looks like there's a
Yeah, I
dwarf
figured
beard.
you'd like those dice.
So,
Look at the little dwarf
there's a-
beard that's on there. Oh, that's Gandalf.
That's Gandalf. Yeah, there's
That's
a wizard
Gandalf.
which represents diplomacy. There's a
There's rabbits.
Roscabel rabbit,
little
which
green
represents
rabbits.
fleeing or escape.
There's
And there's a dwarven hammer, which represents battle. All very fitting things.
Wow, cool.
And we have, this is the resource board, and just look at the art on this. This is my favorite. It's the full company, all just hanging out, so you know that the tiles on this board are yours to use as a company.
And look at that, Bilbo and Thorin, front and center.
All right, so I'm just going to run you through the point of this game, but it sounds like you grasp it, but for everybody
Oh,
here.
I'm a game player. I love games.
Okay,
love it,
so
love it, love it, love it, love it.
The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey
Yes.
is about completing the events of the first film in the Hobbit trilogy. Mainly the Shire and Lone Lands, and then there's another similar board to this one once we complete this one that is Moria, wargs, goblins, Gollum, and such.
Oh, that's a lot of mischief.
There's a lot of mischief going on in the second board, but luckily we only have to get through the Shire and the Lone Lands first. Now the way you win this or complete this board is by completing the objectives here on the board. The fleeing ones, this top row, have to be done in order from left to right because it emulates the events of the film.
Gotcha.
All the rest, these down here or ones that we might pick up from the event board, can be done in any which way according to the different roles we get.
Okay.
Now, resources. Resources make or break your specific game because as you can see up here, these are the points you will get when the game is over. They will be tallied up. So you
Yes.
don't want, you can use any of these at any time to get specific markers you need to complete objectives, but you don't really want to. You want to use the company to your advantage to gain whatever markers you might need to gain an objective.
Okay.
So the way a turn will go is someone, well, first we'll divvy these up. Oh, and the way
It's 1 to 4 players.
it's 1 to 4 players. You can actually play by yourself in solitaire mode, but obviously
Bilbo
you want to
mode.
play with a company of people
Well,
that
Do you know?
you trust.
Can I take a quick second
Yeah.
to mention the fact that this game was designed and created by none other than Reiner Knizia. His name is on the box.
There you go.
I didn't even realize that. I've been talking about him.
I read.
He's one of the most famous designers in the world.
Well, the few reviews I've looked up
Yes.
mentioned him and how similar it is. So it's a bit of a
Yes.
spiritual successor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now
but
you'll notice these resources on the board.
That's so cool. I'm really glad that Cryptozoic has gotten a top-class, world-renowned game designer working for them.
Yeah.
That's excellent stuff.
What
Very,
are the
very cool.
prices of this game?
Ooh.
What was the retail?
You should look that up.
I should look that up. That's a good question.
It's a really good question.
I just buy stuff when it's cool.
All right, so while he's looking that up, the way you actually lose the game as a company
Yeah.
is when you run out of resources.
Yes.
And the way you run out of resources is when in an individual turn you don't put a quill token and complete an objective. You can
Okay.
complete as many objectives as you want in one given turn, but the penalty for not getting one is losing a resource down here.
Yes.
Now, once you lose one of those resources, your company is weakened because once you complete this board, these resources will then be moved up to your resource board.
That's right. They're ours to claim.
There are, yes.
Yeah, okay,
So if we
good.
lost this one, we would have lost Orc Christ.
Oh, we don't want to lose Orcrist.
No, that is a kind of a pivotal part of.
It's very interesting the way that the Eagles pick up an unconscious Thorin at the end of the film. He loses his Oaken Shield, but he doesn't lose Orcrist.
No.
It's right close to him. You can see it in the talons of the bird next to his body as he's lifted away.
Always kept close.
Always kept close, yes.
Willing to give up the person he was, but clinging to who he will become.
Oh, fascinating. Very good, Mr. Brochure.
All right, so we're going to divvy these up. I'm assuming he's going to be handling tech stuff, so it's just going to be me and you.
Okay. Are these the members of the company?
These are the members of the company.
Do they need to stay face down?
They don't. Let's share them. I have
Oh, okay.
Keely and Bilbo himself.
Nice.
Nori, Dory, Ori, Feely, Dwalin, and Gloin. Now,
Cool.
since this is a cooperative game, we want to share, we want to help each other out as much as possible because we're all in this together.
Okay.
So you'll notice that there's little icons.
There is.
They all do something different, and they all represent something unique.
I have Thorin, Owen, Balin, and I have the brothers three, Bifur, Buffer, and Bomber.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, we've gotten all the brothers together on this one.
Unless they're cousins, which might be the case. We'll find out later. I'll research that later.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, This means, and now we can interact with these freely. The only members that need to be activated before you make your dice roll for the turn are the ones with the golden die: Dory, Ori, Nori, and Thorin. The rest of them can be used at any time, under any circumstance, unless I think there's one handicap where you can't use company tiles. That will come up in the event. But other than that, I can. So let's say, for instance, we're trying to get this one. This objective needs 3 diplomacy markers. You roll, and for some reason, you only get 2. Let's say that's your roll. So me, as a fellow companion, I activate Dwalin, and see, I can give you the extra diplomacy marker you need.
No,
to
you
complete
can,
that.
because you need 3 to make that full set.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
And the ones that have a giving hand underneath them are ones you can give, whereas
to other players.
To other players.
When they need them in their turn sequence.
Yes.
Ah.
So if I use this in my turn, I would be able to get 2, but I can only give you 1.
Okay.
All right, with that in mind, let's just start the game.
Okay, very good.
So I'm going to go first because I have Bilbo Baggins. He goes first. It says so on the card. So I draw an event card, and it is agree on the route to take. Now, this is an upgrade card, which makes a pre-existing one even more difficult. So it just went from slight murmurings to full-out argument on the route we're going to take.
Oh, wow. Full-on argument.
Yep.
So it's gone from needing 5 Gandalfs to needing 7.
Yes, which is
Oh, Lordy.
a tall
Okay.
order. So
Yes,
then I
it
will
is.
roll. The golden die is only used when you activate one of the dwarves who have the golden die.
Understood.
So right now we're doing well. We don't really need that golden die because it's all open to us to complete. So let's take a roll. All right, we've
We've
got 2 there, 2 there. Now, here's where it kind of works like poker in a way, where I can choose, I get 1 free reroll, and I can choose whichever die I want to reroll, and then I'm going to allocate the ones I
ones you left
like
behind, yes.
to an objective.
Okay.
Now, I could allocate 1 here, and then roll these 2, and I might be able to get one or the other depending on what my roll is.
Ah, okay.
But
okay.
here's the thing. Now, since I put those down, those are locked into place.
Yes.
I can't use them any longer.
Gotcha.
They are.
Like Yahtzee, you've set them to count.
Yes.
You can re-roll the remainder.
So
right.
even if, for instance, you used one of your re-roll tiles, I could only re-roll these 2 because those are locked down.
Is there a danger to rolling more often? If you roll more often, is there a punishment that might possibly come up?
What do you mean more often?
Well, in the Lord of the Rings cooperative game, the more things you try to do, the more possibilities you have of getting a difficult punishment. That's why the players are playing against the game itself, and it has built-in mechanisms to make it harder for you as you go along.
No, I
in that
think
sense.
I actually, this is the first time I've ever done a dual one.
Okay.
I think the only penalty is really just spreading your resources really thin, because later in the game, it gets really difficult with the different types. It'll be like multiple 3 of diplomacy, fleeing, and battle.
Right.
Like this first one is really easy, so
Okay.
I'm just gonna try and go for it and
Go for
see
it.
if I get one.
Go for it. And you've got
Okay, I got 1. So we got keep
Okay,
the
good.
troll birds talking. So with that completed, put a quill on there,
Okay,
and
you
it
got
is now
that.
your turn.
no, it's my turn. Very good. So I'm going to begin by picking up one of these
Yes.
to see if it changes any of the current things that we have to do.
Yes.
Defend against the orc attack.
Now that is a standalone.
It
So
is.
you simply just add this
Add
to
it
the
on there.
pre-existing things.
Okay.
So it is now a permanent member of the board, and it is 1 more objective we have to overcome. So as
Right.
we're completing, there's like a pile slowly amassing
Of more things
so
that have to be done.
We're like galloping towards the end
Yes.
of this segment of the journey. So now you will roll.
Here we go.
You can
Roll all of them, but not the gold ones. Right.
yes. For now, we might need it sometime.
Okay, I've got some more rabbits and I've got some more Gandalfs.
Yes.
Hmm.
So it's really up to you. There's a lot of deliberation between the council members that is encouraged in a cooperative game.
Of course, yeah. In a cooperative game, you always have to decide what's the smartest thing for me to do.
Yeah.
Use this now or try to use one of these later.
Right.
So,
So what I'm thinking is you put these 2 rabbits on here and
Yes.
re-roll these 3.
because
That's exactly what I
while
was
you
thinking.
might have 3 of these, we have to complete these in sequential order.
And they haven't even been started yet.
Yeah, we've
I
not
get
even
it.
started.
They have to be done. I'm familiar with Mr. Knizia's tricks. You've got to do things in order, and they get worse and worse as you go along.
The longer you put it off, okay.
Ah, I
All
got
right,
another
so
rabbit. Is that my only one reroll I get?
That is the one reroll you get. Now it is up to us and the companions to reach our goal, which is 4 rabbits. We've got 3. So
Okay.
I can activate Bilbo. and
I
give
can
you that
activate.
one,
I can activate Balin.
or you can activate Balin.
He's got 2 rabbits.
true.
But that's overkill. We only need 1 more.
It is overkill, but at the same time, he can use 1 of any of the 3.
That's great.
So
Okay.
we might want to save Bilbo for another time.
I also have other dwarves here that allow me 1
reroll.
roll of the gold die as an additional.
This has to be activated before we roll the die.
Okay.
So
okay.
that is something that must be done before any dice hit the table.
Okay.
And Thorin actually can gift the golden die
Yes.
to anybody.
Yes, that's
So
right.
if we had a company of 4 and some person had to make a pivotal roll and they didn't have a member with the golden die, you could say, okay, here you go.
Gotcha.
You now can use this. I recommend, using one of your rerolls, because the resource you could give is 2, and that's overkill. So we could take a chance and go for the reroll, or you
Okay.
could straight up win it. It's up to you. It's your turn.
It is indeed. Well, why don't I, if I understand the symbol correctly, does this mean I get to re-roll all of them, including the gold die?
If you had the gold die, yes, and if we had not locked those 2 down, yes.
Okay.
But for now, you only get to reroll these 2.
Let's do that. Okay,
All right,
Bomber,
he's going to the discard pile.
giving me another Bomber. He's ready to make some beef stew or some conies stew.
Oh yeah!
I got the
so
rabbit.
we got it.
We got the rabbit.
All right.
It's this 4.
There's 4.
Okay.
Can't really do anything else, so you get a quill token,
And,
and we move on.
chase after the dwarves to join them. We got it. Moving on. Next
We've
one.
joined the dwarves, and we are ready.
Do I get to reclaim all of these at the next board, or do I get a
Yes,
different set?
at the next board, the tiles get shuffled and
Redistributed.
As
excellent,
well,
excellent,
this
okay.
symbol means you get a tile back. So if you
Ooh.
complete an objective like this one and that
Okay,
one,
okay.
and this is the troll treasure is an optional little trinket to gather and put up on your resource board.
Yes.
It does not count as an objective, so you only get it when you're kind of just rolling really, really well, because
Cool.
you don't want to get that and then not be able to get something else.
Okay.
But it does, you do get 2 tiles back as well as 2 points at the end
That's
of the game.
delicious. I like
Yeah.
that. That's worth a little side objective worth going for.
Yeah, completely
Gotcha,
optional. If you want to
gotcha.
go down there, hey, that's where they found Sting. So little side
indeed.
trails never lead you
So
wrong.
you're going to pick another
Yes.
one on your turn?
All right.
Okay, very good.
This game is $39.99.
Okay.
You can buy it from Cryptozoic.com or TheOneRing pretty soon.
Very nice.
Actually, if you guys are very interested in this, we recommend that you
Shop local.
shop local at your local mom and pop store. Always recommend you go to a brick and mortar store in your local
They
area.
all know how to tell you how the game is.
But if
Yeah.
you can't, if you want to support TheOneRing.net, then you can wait for a few days, and then we will have them for sale in our emporium of goods and sundry somethings. So you can join us there and get it there too.
Okay. So
Uh-oh.
the trolls have captured Bilbo Baggins.
God bless
which means
America. No.
I do not receive the usual free reroll this turn, and things have gotten more difficult. So
That's
with
right.
that stumbling block in mind, I'm
Yeah.
going to activate Ori, the scribe, and I will gain a golden die for my
Okay.
roll because I do not
So-
get
You
any
guys are already
rerolls.
confused.
Are you now? Do you activate Ori before you pick up the dice? It has to be done that way.
Yes, it has to be done.
So,
But
so that you'll have that extra die to roll.
yes,
Gotcha.
But
gotcha.
the only ones that require that are the ones with the golden die: Dori, Ori, Nori, and Thorin.
Uh-huh.
So those are only 4. All the other ones, like Keely, who allows you to place a die on any face you want.
Ooh.
Oh,
that's
Feely,
awesome.
Who doubles the value of any face.
So it's worth double icon value.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gloin, who can give hammers. Dwalin, who can give diplomacy. Which, who knew he was such a negotiator?
I had no idea.
Anyway, I'm going to roll my turn. All right. Got a
Look
lot
what
of
you got.
axes.
You got a lot of axes.
Huh.
But these have to be done in order, so we can't get to that yet. Can
No.
we?
Oh no. Just the top row of fleeing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Those have to be done in sequential order.
Okay.
The rest can be done at will.
Including these that you've put along that line?
Yes,
Okay.
including those.
Well, you've pretty much got it.
So, I don't have a reroll.
Oh yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You got it.
Well, I do. I got it. Well, that was a piece of luck right there.
Defend against the orc attack.
All right. I've successfully defended against the orc attack.
Nice.
Surprise attack in the middle of the Shire.
And that means we get a resource put back?
Yep, that means I get this tile.
This one is not in the pool as of yet because I used it on my turn.
Okay.
My turn is over. I gain Bomber from there.
Okay.
I put Ori in the pile.
Now, of course, it's understood in a cooperative game that another player who gets a resource that you had already used, it's okay because we're all sharing resources to
Yeah.
complete the game.
and we
Right.
can also.
In games like this, people share and trade resources
Yes.
so that the whole group can finish the whole game. It's
Yeah.
not about individual ownership of cards.
No.
A lot of people are not used to that.
No, they're
because
not.
when you're playing Monopoly or any other
It's all
game,
me,
it's
me,
always
me,
me, me, me, me, me, me, me.
Yeah,
me.
but I like this because it builds. I mean, I made a bunch of good friends just playing this because you just get into the spirit of it.
Yep. This was a classic thing that happened with the original Lord of the Rings Kinesia game
I
that
like
he did.
Canasta.
I've never played Canasta. You'll have to
There's
teach
no
me
sharing in Canasta.
something. Wow.
Okay.
So,
All right, so it is now your turn.
$40.
$39.99.
$39.99. And you
Yeah.
you won't find it at Toys R Us because we went to about 8 Toys R
Yeah.
Us.
And
along the
these
road.
up here are resources we can use at any time. This gives you extra diplomacy. This gives you extra battle. This gives you extra fleeing. Gandalf doubles the value of all the die faces. The
Nice.
contract, I believe each person draws. Yep. Yes. So everyone draws 2 company tiles. So if we were getting really low, we could use that. The
Wow,
Bilbo
that's exciting.
Baggins pipe allows us to negate any instant
yeah.
event that we might pull from the pile.
Got
With
it.
that in mind, is your turn to draw an event card.
Yes, indeed. Here
And
we go.
keep us going
Are
on our
these separate?
journey.
Oh, you put that one down because.
Yeah, that's the discard die. So.
Gotcha. Split the rock to let the light through.
Ah,
Uh-oh. Here we go.
so that's a standalone. That just
It
kind of
is.
sits down
Can
there.
we go there or there? Okay.
Can go anywhere.
Okay. And we would need 3 rabbits and 3 Gandalf symbols to get past that.
Mhm.
So now I am actually going to, wow. I think it is important for me to use Oin. And I will include the gold die. So I have the set of 5, and here we go.
There you go.
Bunny time. Oh, no, did I really get that?
Yeah, you got it.
I got exactly
First
what
one.
I needed. Okay, so that means I get
You do. And may I suggest, just for the sake of giggles and kicks, that you might re-roll this one to gain maybe the 2 axe symbol, and I could simply give you one, and we might receive the troll treasure.
okay. Yeah, let's try it. I do get a reroll,
Could not hurt.
keeping those 4 solid, and there's more Gandalfs.
All right.
Right, still not enough to.
No, if you had this one, we could obtain that, but it's really not worth it. It was just
Well, I do have enough to do that.
Totally
To do
confused. So
keep
basically you
keep
draw
the
a
troll
card.
Tom talking.
Basically,
Well,
you draw a
you
card.
only have these 2 that could go there.
Oh.
These are all tied up here. You can't. There's no spillover.
I declared them.
yes,
After I roll them, I have to declare where they go before
Yes.
I do the reroll.
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes,
Okay,
and
gotcha.
then they're there. You
Yeah,
can't move them.
gotcha.
If like you only need 2, but you had 3 here, you can't spill it over. It's
Excellent.
all locked
Okay.
down.
If this is taken care of, then
That's taken care
it
of.
goes off.
Oh no, you just put a
Discard
quill on
file?
that
Oh,
one,
put a quill on it.
and you get a company tile back, but not Oin because you just used him.
Oh,
but
I
you get
Ori the
Ori.
Scribe. Thank you, Adam Brown, my good friend Adam Brown.
All right,
Excellent.
it is my turn. I will draw an event card. Keep the troll William talking. This is an upgrade.
You gotta
It
keep
just
the
went
trolls talking.
from diplomacy to diplomacy with a little battle thrown in.
Oh no, that's a lot of mess.
All right. Huh. We need a lot of rabbits. We need to get this rabbit train going.
It has.
So I'm
We
gonna-
have made very poor progress on the rabbit
I'm
track.
gonna activate Nori in the hopes.
This rings very familiar to the
Yeah?
previous game. Yes, it does.
Bring back fond
I'll
memories.
show you how to play that one. You'll be like, oh, I
That
get
sounds
it.
perfect.
It's wonderful. Get those rabbits.
Okay, 3 rabbits. Not the best, but we might be able to work with that. We only need 4 more.
Can I give you Balin?
You can. Let me re-roll.
Does it happen during a certain part of the turn sequence?
No.
Should I have given him to you earlier?
No.
Okay,
You can
okay.
do the characters of the company that don't have the golden die anytime. But before you
Okay,
do that,
okay.
let me re-roll to see if we actually need it.
Okay.
So I'm going to re-roll this. This comes with a part of my re-roll because
Indeed.
I activated it.
We got 3 out of 7. Get some bunnies.
Let's run away!
Get the bunnies.
All right, so I got 1 bunny.
Run away, run away.
I got 1 bunny.
And if I give you 2 more, it's still not enough.
1, 2, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can activate Bilbo and we can achieve it.
And I can activate Balin by giving him to you.
Yes.
But you're not allowed to. Well, there's
Wait,
also
wait, wait, wait.
There's also
Wait,
freely.
okay. I got it. We can do this. We might even be able to get 2 at the same time.
Okay.
I have 3. So I can go to there
Mm-hmm.
and I can activate Dwalin. And we can get this.
Okay.
And then you, what do we need 3 more rabbits?
Yes.
You can only give me 1.
I can only give you 1.
And
of
I
these.
can only activate 1 from here. So what we might need to do
And that would be the ones we need.
is, because this is the heftiest of all the bunnies,
Yes.
you might activate your bunny, and I might activate this resource.
Yes.
And with that, we would knock out these 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Giving
Seven.
that to you.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And
So
then
we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops. 7 on there.
you got 6 actually.
You can only give me 1.
Oh, only the hand symbol under the 1.
Yes.
Otherwise, it counts as 1. I use individually. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
If you were using it and you flipped them, you would get 2 because
Okay.
you have ownership of the card.
That is very clear. Okay, so
Okay.
I'm giving 1 to you, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 2 more,
Yep. 6, 7. So
Okay.
that is now out of the game.
and it does. And there's a number in the top corner.
Yes, that is added up at the end, and that is our
Okay.
score or how well we did.
Okay.
There's different levels you can reach where
Right.
there's recommended handicaps in the back of the book if you get a certain amount of points.
Right.
So it gets harder the better you do.
Yes, it does.
In
yeah.
the next games.
I get it.
Okay.
I totally get this. You guys, you should get this. This is fun.
All right.
I totally get this.
So we've knocked out this one, and then this.
this is so
and I
easy
flipped
to get. Justin.
this.
Yep.
So we've now also obtained this,
We did, huh?
and yes, because I.
Because you got 3.
Because I got 3, and then I activated Dwalin, which gave us more than enough.
That
So-
gave you 5, indeed. Okay.
It is your turn.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Wow.
So-
One.
You draw a card. That tells you what your goal is on this turn.
Find
No.
the missing ponies. Rabbit
This-
first.
Yes.
Instant.
This is a first instant card. This is a stumbling block that must be accomplished before anything else can be accomplished.
Really?
So on the roll, this has to be done before you can even think about adding resources to the board.
Understood.
So this
Okay.
is, you can't get
Okay.
anywhere without your ponies.
Well, in an effort to get through the remaining crazy bunny track, I will activate Ori the Scribe.
Sounds good.
So that I do get the gold extra 5th die, and I'm going to do the big old
Big old
randomization roll. Oh,
All right.
Lordy.
Well, you tackled that one.
I got that one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can get that one.
I guess I could.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. I just need to do a re-roll.
Or
Or-
1, 2, 3, 4. I have Bilbo. I can give you 1 resource,
Technically, Bondo.
Yeah, you can give me 1 more resource.
and that's exactly what I can do.
We'll force that to be the Gandalf design.
All right.
Okay.
So it is written, and so it shall be
We
done.
keep the troll William talking. So we did the
Upgraded.
upgrade version
Yes,
of that.
so-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I got 2 out of those. So I put a quill on that. It's done. And we get any random.
Any random.
I'll take this one. Ah, my good friend Balin is back.
Okay. It is now my turn. The stumbling block is out of the way. I will draw another card. Upgrade. Follow Bilbo Baggins to rescue him. Oh no. Just got a little more difficult in
This
here.
is getting very. See, the longer it takes for the players to finish the scenario,
The more difficult it
tricky
gets.
it gets. Yeah, that's the hallmark of his game design. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
I'm gonna activate Dory because we got to get this train rolling.
Yes.
And I will. So these now go in there.
Ori card smells of chips.
Chips.
And the Thorin card is lenticular for its brilliance.
And here we go. All right, lot of rabbits.
Nice. Very good.
Okay, I've tackled
Very
that
good.
one. That's gone.
Okay, good.
Look
at all these.
Yes, so I can keep these and re-roll this to see if I can tackle that one
And you can add 2 more from here.
if need be. Yes.
You only need 1 more.
Yeah. So I'm gonna re-roll this. Let's hope I get it.
Nope.
All right. I only need 1 more. So,
Are you
I think I might move.
very tempting. Very tempting.
I think I might move the face of this because I mean that's a hefty card.
It's
and
nuts.
I think it's worth it.
But we got that upgrade so early in this gameplay.
Yeah.
No wonder.
All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna activate Keeley and his beautiful scruff, his 5 o'clock shadow.
That's not even a dwarf beard.
I know it's not. I'm pretty sore about that.
That's a Hollywood hipster beard.
It's true.
Like the one Justin has.
Oh.
We love you,
Okay.
Justin. We're just picking on you.
All right, that's 2 actually. That's
Yeah,
2.
super
I get
good.
another tile back.
Say goodbye to Idril.
Oi, the scribe.
Bye, Adriel.
Adriel.
Have a great night, my dear.
Okay,
Very good.
it's your turn.
Very,
We're
very,
getting
very
there.
good.
We're
I'm
close.
very pleased. And still, following the sequence, we've got to get 5 bunnies and a double axe.
Yeah.
Okay, so I must
Bilbo's in
draw
a lot of trouble.
1 more. Sugar. Evade the attacking wargs. That is an additional one.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Okay. Well, I guess it's most important for me to understand. I play this, and then I'll get to use all 5, or do I get
Yes.
a re-roll of?
These are to re-roll all of the die
All
that
of
you
them.
have not locked up.
And just ignore the first results because they haven't been locked. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you were giving, you could give 2 re-rolls to somebody.
Okay.
But for you personally, you can re-roll 1 to 5,
Well,
as many as you want.
I'm definitely using Thorin. We need this extra gold die.
There you go.
So we'll begin with that, and I'll start the roll. Yes, bunny time!
Bunnies everywhere.
I think
Oh,
we've
and
got
you
it.
got it.
I think we've got
Yeah.
it. We've got it. 3, 4, 5, an exact roll, and we've got the upgraded card for
Yes.
that. And now that is complete. Excellent.
Now-
so, follow Bilbo Baggins to rescue him. That
Completed that.
tricky little burglar needed rescuing again.
Maybe we should re-roll this and once
I
again
will.
go for the troll treasure.
I will, but is it possible?
Yeah, we have 2. You can get two hammers, and I can give you the
You
additional
could
one.
give me the additional one.
That
yeah, you
will
could.
take us
okay,
there.
so here's these are solid
Those are-
state, and they're
yep.
all locked.
Those are
and
locked
done.
in.
This is the reroll.
Ah,
Sugar.
all right.
Okay, whatever.
Well, you know what? We did good.
We
you
did
can't
great.
begrudge the turn you just had because it's
this
a.
is actually
uh,
great.
You get a tile?
And we have used precious few of these, haven't
No.
we?
Yeah, we're doing well.
I'm going to take this little mystery person. All right, Keeley. All right, this is very powerful. You can actually cancel a roll and tip it over to a different face and make that roll count as something else.
Anything you
It's a
want.
very powerful thing to do.
But not for the golden die. It's a white die, so you can only do it
Understood.
for the basic
Gotcha.
die.
Gotcha. Okay.
Otherwise, everyone will
All right,
just
we're
be
almost done, but you've
like,
got
okay.
to.
Oh, gotta pull the event.
Yep.
Convince
more.
the trolls of your innocence. One diplomacy.
And
All
this
right.
says first.
Yes, it has to be done before anything else. The scribe, who has been so good to us, Ori, I
Thank
will
you,
be
Ori.
flooping him.
There you go. There you go.
Grabbing that.
Bringing in the 5th die. Da 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 da.
All right. Got a lot of axes. I'm looking at
Yeah.
a lot of hammers.
All right. There's your troll treasure,
Potentially, yes.
but no bunnies at all.
We need, yes, we need to tackle the axe. Okay. I guess my only qualm is should I re-roll to see if maybe I get, no, that has to be tackled. Okay, now that that's out of the way, we need,
It does have to be done first.
I'm going to put these 2 here,
Okay.
and should I re-roll this one to see if I can get in 2 bunnies, or should I just lock that in and see what I get with the golden die?
I can give you another bunny.
If need be.
if need be.
Okay.
And are there different iterations of symbols on here? Yes,
Yes,
there are.
there's up to 3.
Oh, this is completely different. So I would
Yeah.
lock that in and try.
All right.
I really would.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can get.
Yay!
All right, that was a really good roll.
Yay! That's fascinating.
Yeah. Okay. Another tile for me.
Very good. And I didn't have to give you. I didn't have to give you.
It was quite the break.
So this is really, really good when you get these cards that bounce back one of the company back into your hand.
Indeed.
That's
Oh,
delightful.
that's yours. I
Oh.
don't know what I'm doing.
I didn't see. Let's just reshuffle. We didn't see it. Okay, reshuffle. So you're done with your turn?
I'm done with my turn.
And this is the last thing remaining to be complete.
Potentially.
Exploring the troll cave. Okay, unless this is something weirder. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Bilbo Baggins must prove himself a burglar.
Now this is another instant, but it's a little more intense because if you don't, it's a first instant, and if you don't get the required amount, you lose a resource.
Sugar.
Yes.
Okay,
So we need a lot of diplomacy and a lot of rabbits this turn.
we do. Oh, brother. So, if I keep balling and use it myself, it would count as 2.
Yes.
I got 2 bunnies right away.
Indeed.
Uh,
Do you have a golden die?
no.
Then friend, as Thorin,
Yay!
leader of the
gimme,
company.
Thank you.
I'm making a speech. As leader of, so this is yours. You have now gained the golden die, and you're free to do with it as you will.
Oh, Lord bless you, Master Frodo. Lord bless you, Master Frodo. All right, so I
have
thank
2
you.
bunnies because you played swans. already.
No. That's an option.
Oh, you did.
Oh, wow,
wow.
bunny-rific.
Wow, more bunnies than we'll ever need.
But we didn't get the instant.
No, we didn't get that yet, but we can still get it.
Don't we have a resource here to cancel an instant?
We do.
Should we use it now or save it for us? If you're playing a full game, which I don't think we'll have the time to do,
No.
you would save these for
Yes,
later.
yes. You would
Especially
wanna
this
save-
very powerful
You would
one.
want to exhaust all options
Before tricking these
so
out. Gotcha,
I
gotcha.
recommend.
Since we're going to have this be an abbreviated version of the game,
Yeah.
perhaps we should just go ahead.
Do it.
We
Kill
should
it.
go ahead. I'm killing that instant because there's no way we can satisfy its conditions. Okay?
I mean, we could with a little elbow grease, but for
we could?
yeah, you could.
Yeah, I mean, I've got an entire reroll of all
What-
5 dice with Biffer and Bulfer.
And what I would recommend
But I'm
is,
happy to have gotten this.
Don't lock these because this has to be completed first before completing any others. What I
Yes.
would do is put these aside and be like, oh, we're just not committing them to anything.
Okay.
And then re-rolling these to see if you get this, and if you don't get this, just keep use like a re-roll card,
Oh,
or
okay.
maybe
Okay,
if you
okay.
get one.
So maybe not. Let's maybe not use this. All right, let's see if I can get that. All right, let's temporarily set these aside, but they haven't been chosen
No.
to their designation yet, okay? And I will re-roll these 3. There you go.
go.
All right, I got it.
All right.
I got it.
So we've knocked that out of the way. Bilbo Baggins has proven himself a burglar by stealing the talking purse from the trolls.
I really wanted that bloody talking purse to show up in the movie. I really wanted that. I'm so glad you mentioned it.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
the- that's the
I
one
could
thing
have
was
done with it
missing.
too.
That's the one thing I was missing.
And the talking animals, but
So
Justin
we've
disagrees.
concluded everything.
Yes, we've made it through the Shire and the
Hey,
Lone Lands
that's amazing.
intact. We've not lost any resources. So in a full game, which we don't have enough time to play right now, we would take all the tokens, put them back in a pile. We would put all these resources, these new resources,
Ooh, these are
up here.
cool.
Yeah,
There's
they're much more
Orcrist.
powerful.
Oh, I'm glad we got these. Glamdring,
Sting.
Galadriel, fantastic. Oh, good.
Those would go up here,
That's
and then
excellent.
we would open the next board up.
Whoa,
to-
there's even a thing here for Saruman.
Yeah,
Whoa.
which allows you to put all of the dice to any face. All the die
That's
to
wicked.
any face you
Very
want.
good.
And then we would open up
Well,
this one.
Saruman is still
Misty
the good
Mountain, Gollum, Goblins, and Wargs. Which, as you can
Nice.
see, is already much more difficult in scale.
Oh,
Not to
okay, I
mention the
see.
additional ones
Is this the
that-
final board of this game?
of this game.
Okay.
So,
This is fascinating.
and there's another one up here for the Goblin Treasure.
Okay. And you have to do the same thing. You have to do the top track first.
Yes, you have to do the top track first. The only difference with this one is because it ends this game, you escape with the eagles has to be the last thing you accomplish
Has to be,
at
yes.
all.
out of
Yep.
any of these.
Yes, indeed.
So these have to be done in order, and these have to be all completed, and including the additional ones. But this has to be done last, because obviously escaping with the Eagles is the last
So
thing on the list.
The question is, if you do succeed in finishing the second board and you end the game, you've got all these things waiting down here for you to pick up. No, are there?
Yes. Oh, yes. There's in the box. There's a whole new set of resources.
But do you pick them up at the end of the game to use for what purpose if the game is over?
Well, when the Desolation of Smaug comes
Oh,
out,
you'll have
you'll
them
have
for
2
them.
more boards to play down.
of course,
And then
of
when
course.
There and Back Again comes out,
They'll be
you'll
combined
have 2
sets.
more. So, I
They'll be
mean,
combined
we're
sets.
going to have like parties where we just play all of them in a row.
I
And
love it.
actually,
I love that.
I
That's
have
great.
been thinking of a imbibing variation of this game. And I think
Yeah,
that
okay.
a good rule to start with is anytime a resource is used or lost, it is required a hearty glug of whatever your chosen drink is. I think that's a good place to start.
And draft, for sure.
Yes.
For sure. Hey,
Stand next to
how
Doug.
you doing?
How's it going?
Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in.
We're just concluding our Hobbit game.
Oh my gosh, that was super cool.
Yeah.
I learned it faster than you can say knife, which is a quote from Tolkien.
Yes.
Yeah, that is so good. And it is so Reiner Knizia. Cooperative games are more fun than any other type of board game you will play. You guys just have to try it to see for yourselves. So thank you, Cryptozoic,
Yes.
for bringing us
Yes.
something really
I mean,
good.
this was a joy to play all
Now you know how to
weekend
play.
long.
I
was
I
a-
figured it out.
It's you just you have
By,
to
by the end, I'm like, you draw a card. That card tells you what you need to roll.
what you need to roll, and then you have to satisfy the rolls by
Look who's here.
a mixture of Yahtzee rules and a mixture of resource management. Who put that there? Put that there.
The camera guy. So, well, we're not going to bore you with cleaning up because we'll
Yeah.
clean up after the camera rolls. But that's
So
that's our
cool.
show. It's a little longer than normal, but
But
we
great.
have so much to talk about. Thank you guys for calling in. Find us on Skype at the OneRing Net. You can call us every Tuesday at the Torn Hotline.
Well done on the road to DragonCon, guys. Well done to all of you. And may I personally say congratulations to this hard-working team of fellows, these very merry Stooges 3. And there's the 4th person. Her name, Catalina.
Yes.
Catalina is not represented here, but a big shout out and
Disappeared into the mist.
acknowledgement time. I acknowledge you guys. You took the hard road. You took the long road, and it was the more satisfying road. So thank you guys for letting our fans journey with you to DragonCon and back.
pleasure.
And thank you for filling some of my shoes, small though they may be. I'm gonna join you guys next year at DragonCon. It's gonna be amazing. Stay tuned right here to theonering.net for more mischief and more fun and more news
And you can
and
find
gossip.
us at New York Comic Con, but this weekend you can find us at Cincinnati Comic Expo. We were going to have a booth, but we sold out of shirts at DragonCon. So we're just having a panel. And
We are. Who's our staff people who are going to be
some more volunteers.
at Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And this is the all volunteer, all love Tolkien fan
Love
club.
Cryptozoic.
TheOneRing.net. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank
Forged,
you, Cryptozoic.
forged by and for fans of J.R.R. Tolkien. I heartily endorse this game.
Oh,
There's
it
my
has-
hearty
It has
endorsement.
the Clifford stamp of
It
approval.
has the hearty endorsement of a man who talks in a funny voice. So, enjoy, guys.